Okay guys, today I'm with you in the F-15C. For my guys in the 122nd, this is going to be a quick video tutorial on cranking and notching. I'm going to showcase both when to use them and how to use them. Now the crank is a technique, as we all know, where we will turn our aircraft right or left of the incoming aircraft and put the incoming aircraft or the Bandit on the gimbal limits or the edge of the screen of our radar. So here we have an F-15. I got him at about 80 miles. Let's put him in a TWS lock. It's at 28,000 climbing. What we're doing in this situation is we're going to simulate that we're going to fire a missile at him when he gets to about 40 miles, and we're going to immediately start cranking. Being that it's a Fox 3 that we're simulating that we're firing, the aircraft is going to use our radar until it gets within range of the aircraft where it can use its own radar. So by cranking, or continuously providing guidance information to our missile while simultaneously creating space between the Bandit and ourselves. The notch, on the other hand, is a completely different take. I'd say cranking is both offensive and defensive for the reasons that I just stated, whereas notching, while it can be offensive, doesn't mean that if something's in front of you, you can't fire. Notching is purely a defensive technique, and when it comes to notching, what we're going to do is use our RWR to figure out what direction the missile is coming at us, and then once we have that figured out, we're going to put the missile on the RWR or the aircraft's 3 to 9 line, meaning to the right, it's going to be on the aircraft's 3 line, and if the missile's coming from our left, it's going to be on the aircraft's 9 line. And what notching does is exploits a weakness in the aircraft's post-Doppler radar, where if you turn to the right, combined with also, typically the best guys who do this will get low to mix ground clutter in the background of the radar. Okay, so he's notching, or he's cranking already. So we're going to simulate, we're firing. I'm just simulating Fox 3. He's diving right now, so I'm under the impression that, or he's cranking, so I'm under the impression that he's fired a missile on me. So now we're going to begin our crank. While simultaneously reducing altitude, we're putting the Bandit on the edge of the radar screen, or what people would call the gimbal limits. We're controlling our rate of descent. And now I'm looking for that radar spike. I know if a missile's coming now, I need to turn about 15 to 20 degrees to the left. All right, let's slow down a little bit. Just waiting on that radar. Come on. If he still hasn't fired, we're in trouble. All right, there's our missile. Let's turn a little bit here. That should do it. A little bit more. Just looking at the RWR. Dropping a bunch of chaff. Getting lower. Of course, the sun gets right in the way. Oh, I think we're in trouble for this one. Okay, I don't know where that missile is. And we've defeated the missile. Okay, so that's the notch. Didn't see it go by. But yeah, that's how it's used. Again, we just figure out where the missile was, put it on our 3 line. In this particular situation, because it was coming from our right, reduced altitude so that we can get some of this background clutter in the way to confuse the missile's radar as well as the aircraft's radar. And then once we do that, we have to just hold what we got. I'm simultaneously dropping chaff and really just praying at this point. Now the notch is a technique I don't use very often. Unless I'm within the MAR of the other aircraft, I'm not going to notch. I'm going to go cold 100% of the time. But when things start getting close, the notch is a technique that you can use. When you're within the MAR, you can't outrun the missile. So your second best, your best option is when you're within the MAR of an opposing aircraft to notch the missile. And again, you need to figure out where that aircraft is, which will also tell you what direction the missile's coming from, and then from there you can set yourself up. Anyways, I hope this video helps. If you guys have any questions about anything that I've shown you, or you've got a different angle on both either the crank or the notch, hit me up, let me know. And I appreciate you guys tuning in.